and welcome in. We've got some Thursday night Halo. I lost track of the days of the week. I am John, joined alongside Rishi. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing all right. Had a pretty long day at 9:30, and I've been going all the way since. But we're doing good. We're about to get in some Halo Green Team action. I think that this is one of the first times they've been featured on stream, and I'm excited to see them.
Yeah, this should be interesting.
Yeah, should be very, very interesting. As we have confirmation, first map is going to be it's going to be Slayer on. I forgot the map that we got. We're going to see it once we get into game, so won't worry about that. But again, we've got our green first time on stream, ECAC. They've been doing pretty well. I think they're currently sitting 3-2 or 3-1, something.
It's 1-3 right now.
1-3. I messed up the numbers. Flipped it around, but looking to turn their season around and pick up some wins.
Yeah, so the one thing that is the most the funniest thing about this is that they actually played our other two teams as their first two games.
Well.
They played our gold and our white team back to back, and then they played two other teams right after.
Yeah, that's just a tough place to be. When you're going up against your other squads, this reminds me a lot of a few semesters ago, for Rocket League in CRL. We were all placed in the same pool where only one team makes it out, and it's like, well, what the heck, man? You're putting all of our teams together to battle it out? That's targeting, right? So ECAC targeting our squads, but not actually. I'm sure it was just randomly seeded, and that's the way it goes sometimes, and that's just how things happen. And we'll see how they bounce back.
Yeah, this should be a fun game to watch.
Should be very, very fun as we're getting in. As we've got Slayer, and again, of course, it is a best of 5 as always, and going up against NMCC. Excited to see this one go.
Oh yeah, so we'll get into live fire right now. We have players moving from the right side of the map towards the Disruptor. Yeah,
looking for Disruptor, looking to compete for those early power weapons once they spawn. We're already seeing an early duel here from the side of Vesta. And nades go down, doing his best to make some space, and does find that kill assist, but immediately answered back. So both these teams going blow for blow.
Yeah, was it Kito lost the sniper rifle in towards USF's NMC squad? Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, again, this is a little bit off. Is a quick trade back and forth. These teams keeping each other even, keeping each other honest. But USF starting things off, getting a tiny lead. But active camo is picked up by, I believe, that is Wilder, and that's going to be one to watch.
It's kind of slow right now.
Yeah, it's honestly a lot slower than I'm used to seeing for Slayer matches. You're only seeing these very, very tight rotations. We're seeing a bit of a flank onto Light. Light Slicer, DJD Gatorboy finding one, and now a bit of a 2v2 goes away at USF with a double headshot, and now Wilder, the last one standing, triple kill for Gatorboy as it's feeling like they're in the swamps.
Oh my God, this is the type of thing we're trying to watch right now,
Yeah, this is exactly what we want to see, and I mean, maybe that was a DC from Wilder, not entirely sure, but again, looks like NMCC just can't get any ground. This is really an oppressive hold on these spawns from USF.
Game seems really one-sided right now.
Yeah, feeling very, very one-sided. Wilder doing what he can. Bearman not able to win this 2v1. And oh my gosh, Gatorboy putting the team on the back. Vital able to find one, and now the strike down from Vesta. And Gatorboy, of course, keeping the ball rolling as USF open themselves up a 10-kill lead.
Spawning in the active camo, pushing for it.
Does manage to pick that one up, and now Jones runs into the wrong side of a Mangler, barely survives until the cleanup comes through from USF. And now active camo, very, very, very scary to keep track of. As it feels like USF, they're always finding these advantageous positions, always finding the spots that they can 2v1.
Yeah, this use of the double chow, waiting for trades is so useful, and especially with our team using their higher accuracy, should we say, their advantage, because the shots from NMCC haven't been going through as well.
Yeah, they haven't been the best, but now grouped up as 3 over on Nest, and USF just running them down. Kital finding Owlbro, and Light Slicer the only one to find a kill for NMCC. Now Wilder might be the next one to fall, as Kital doing so much work, and this is honestly some real dominance. USF Green certainly showing that they are not a 1-3 team.
Yeah, sniper spawning, loss.
And I mean, Zambo again, it's just, it feels like so many of these duels, when they are just those true 1v1s, USF are finding the answers, finding the options, not able to find that sniper shot, and Zambo is going to go down.
We have DJ Gatorboy with 12 kills right now.
Yeah. Certainly.
Pulling out a 4 KD right now.
I'm 4 KD, that is terrifying, honestly, as Vesta looks to try and catch up, and Light Slicer answers back. So, does feel like NMCC, they're finding a few answers, finding a few ways back in, but again, this is just so much strength coming out of USF. They've opened up a 15, make it 16 kill lead, double the score.
Yeah, USF is like also working on getting the special weapons. Like both of them, we have the sniper and we have the, I keep forgetting the
Heat Wave.
Heat Wave.
As Owl might be able to find and shut that one down. Maybe Zambo will be able to figure this one out. Doesn't find the shot. That does make life very, very difficult, but Vesta and Gatorboy doing what they do best at shoring up that flank, just finding a way around the corner. As USF, I believe, once again with that active camo, it feels like they've had complete control this entire match. As Vesta get another melee kill onto Bean Man.
Yeah, they had like control over the entire map. They were able to like hold on to like the entire side of the map, working well as a team. They were able to get all the special weapons like as soon as they spawned, the active camo on the right side of the map.
Indeed, they find it, and they're just finding these duels where, you know, we're mentioning their rotations, we're mentioning how close they stay together, but it's also their targeting. You know, they're moving for objectives. They're treating them as objectives, I feel.
Yeah, you can tell based on the way that they're moving that they're communicating very well as a team. Everyone's telling exactly where everyone's supposed to be. Everyone's able to reach out. That nade about to kill himself.
Yeah, not able to find the right side of that nade, and looks for the shots in the Heat Wave, but Water does find Zambo. And this is just complete control out of USF, as only 6 kills needed compared to the 21. And I mean, I guess the 29 needed for NMCC. It'd have to be perfection. But with only 3 kills left, looks like USF Green gonna take this one up, as Zambo may go down to this nade spam, or if the shots land. But again, it's just across the map, all USF. As everyone else is starting to pick up behind Gatorboy, and it's just a matter of time. As there it is, last 2 kills go the way of USF, and a very, very compelling first map of Slayer.
Yeah. Was it USF had so many like they were able to get all the special weapons. They were getting like active camo as soon as it spawned every time. The only problem was they weren't really capitalizing using it. I think all their kills really came from the BR that they were using, rather than like actually the sniper and the mangler and the Heat Wave.
Yeah, and the fact that they can, you know, use their battle rifle with such efficiency, and then they're denying the options for the other team to come in, really does show the mark of the great team.
That 100%. And the NMCC team, I think, right?
Yep.
They were just missing their shots, I feel like, for this first game.
Yeah.
I hope to see like some like better performance on the next one.
Yeah, I'm hoping so as well. You know, that maybe they figure out what isn't working for them, as we're going to go to a very, very quick break as the teams figure out what the next map we're going to be on is. But you have to stay tuned to see if USF can continue the streak of dominance, if NMCC has some gas left in the tank. Oh, and welcome back to us. And we've got a new face on the cast. I'm still John, but now I'm joined alongside not Rishi, but this is Mason, one of our new casters, as we're just working on updating that nameplate. Yeah. Don't worry about it. But Mason, actually one of our white team members who's been following along and watching.
Yeah, absolutely. I was watching the first match of that game, and USF Green did come out to a really good advantage. They were pushing on their advantage. They weren't clumping up. They were taking all the power weapons. I would say one small critique is they need to probably get more to the utilize their more of their camo. So now we're going to be on this is going to be on Oddball right here, and let's look like both teams have been able to get some of their power weapons in.
Yeah, both teams picking power weapons. Axe Cam for one side, and Energy Sword for the other. NMCC picking up that very, very powerful option, as USF with early ball control. Owl looking to shut it down. Quick drop out inside of USF. It looks like they won't be able to hold on for much longer, as Bearman with an absolute rampage on that energy sword, and NMCC going to find their first bout of control really this series, it feels.
Oh, yeah. On this map in particular, we do see a lot of energy sword. Energy sword is really effective, especially with a lot of like the tight corridors. So it's going to really see how USF's able to like utilize grenades and whatnot to be able to effectively deny their ability. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Counter that. Does look like that might be picked up by USF. And oof, what a brutal kill out of. I think that was Wilder.
Yeah, I do certainly see a different NMCC in this map than it was on Slayer. So maybe we'll see like more competitive game in this.
Yeah, hopefully Owl still with control. Light Slicer sort of holding the line, and Wilder below the stairs, around the corner, trying to find the shots, and looks like it might just be a run-in for the melee. Is Kital able to find that one? And actually, counter kill, a double melee out from USF as they do pick up the ball and are able to start putting points on the board.
Absolutely, and that particular thing I believe was a grenade that Kital threw. Sometimes how the game works is that it will count as like a melee when it really wasn't. It's just an interesting quirk of the game.
Yeah, some of those little details as Wilder in a bit of a nade battle across the side. I believe this is Zambo. No, it was Kital. My bad. Vesta. Goodness, there's so many names, so many different players, and honestly,
this is a very interesting this design. If I was on this team, I would certainly say don't play near A where they are right now in their elevator. I would say play towards C, which is on the other side of the map, because you can be able to reset it.
Exactly, the reset options.
Yeah, but it's very interesting though. It's very compact, and it's going to get very interesting.
As Vesta able to sort of make his way behind enemy lines, did shut down the ball carrier for a moment, but still neither team, I feel, able to secure this ball. As you know, NMCC, they're finding like 15 here, and then it goes back to USF. USF is still in the lead, but NMCC quickly catching up.
Yeah, absolutely. In this game mode, headshots are very effective. So every single time you see a perfect, it's 3 headshots in a row simultaneously. So that does look like NMCC is absolutely getting some of those shots right now on the headshots. And also it does look like they're starting to scramble a little bit more on USF Green right here.
Yeah, USF Green scrambling a little bit. As, quick turn around the corner, might not find the right fight. As Bearman does go down, that's the ball taken out, but immediately picked back up by Wildcard, shut down once again. As Owls responds, it's this just quick flurry of kills as Vesta responds to Light Flash taking down Gator Boy. And looks like Kital might be able to finish this one off. Does pick up, I do believe that she picked up the energy sword. So that's a very big weapon to hold, and Wilder without any support gets taken out by a Zambo. Maybe USF will be able to start to mount a, just putting some points on the board.
Yeah, holding in bottom control, or now they've moved to C where they are right now. This is where I would say absolutely it's a good point. All right, good reset right there. What I would say though is they need to control the point of Energy Sword. Energy Sword is going to be the make all and end all of this game.
Yeah, and I mean,
to create everything, all momentum pushes through Energy Sword.
Most certainly, as USF made it up to 81, and NMCC they're at 79. This is as tight can be. Owlsboro going down there. Bearman taking down DJ. And, that Mangler Slicer. Great stuff out of USF, but quickly responding by NMCC. So now Wilder does get the shield regen. What a grenade spam out of, I believe that is, not entirely sure who, but it doesn't even matter. Kital shut down by the energy sword.
Yeah, that was very interesting. I would not have thrown the grenades in that moment. I feel like Kital could have gotten a hit and knocked it out, but that's just a little bit of a nitpick. And it looks like the end of our first match right here.
Yeah, it does look like the end of our first round of Oddball, going the way of NMCC, certainly showing a difference from the Slayer round.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would say like they were much more. I believe NMCC seems like a much more defensive team. So I believe on this game mode on Oddball, it's certainly going to be efficient. Also, Mangler is going to be very efficient because it is a one-shot, one melee kill instantly. So whoever's able to get the power weapons on this are going to be able to determine the battleground.
Yeah, most certainly. I mean, if you're having that melee control with the energy sword, with the Mangler, those are going to give you a lot of great options. This does look like Vesta around the corners. Actually, Zambo finds Owl with that energy sword. Now USF find the first pickup of this second round.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I do see that they're going to move into orange pipes right now, which is a very popular place to put it. It's going to be in C or in orange pipes, mainly because of the defensibility of it. But normally what will happen is if one team starts losing momentum, the other team will just keep racking up points because they'll keep getting kills. So we'll have to see how USF is able to rebound from this.
That we will, as they're still holding on, but actually making it nearly up to 30, but with Gator Boy going down there, and NMCC finally able to get a little bit of control, and we'll see if USF can strike through.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then one of the concepts of this game is going to be team fighting. You saw right there it was 2v1 with Gatal, and Gatal went down really quickly. The efficiency of a 2v1 is going to make the game a difference in a game sometimes, especially when it comes down to getting that one shot that's needed to eliminate someone.
Most certainly. I mean, you always want to be taking as even or advantageous fights as possible. Owls able to get taken down by Vesta, but while trying to call him, that's no control around this A section of the map. But USF winning that last fight might be able to reposition this ball at the very least, start putting points on the board once again.
Yep. And as I said before, like power weapons are going to be critical on this map. And also camo is going to be very important, especially trying to get right behind them. Somewhat. That was one of the things that like USF didn't necessarily do, was utilize camo to the best of their ability, but I know that they were certainly using it well enough. Yeah, they're certainly using it well enough, and that Slayer is now Vesta trying to shut down this last member. Wilder standing for NMCC around that corner. Airman goes down. Owls might be next to follow, and Light Slicer caught without a team going to be taken out as well. Double kill for Vesta, and more points as USF breaks the 50-point marker. Yeah, and those kills were critical because now it's going to take at least 10 seconds. You know, it's going to take a little bit of time for them to come back from respawn and move over, and the best that they can do is probably get a long shot or maybe a grenade. It makes all the difference in the world. Yeah, and I mean, you bring up that 10-second marker, that's 10 points in a game of oddball if you can't get your team around, and if you're not having those optimal rotations as NMCC moving around, trying to find a better position. Wilder spots out Gital and will go down. Yeah, that I would certainly say there's sticky grenades are very important, but at that moment that may have not been the best thing because they don't have as much the ability to like jump off of walls and stuff like that. Yeah, not as much range, not as much maneuverability, and of course can't bounce them off walls as Zambo with the marksman able to start to break out this NMCC defense, and with the ball carried down, it's all up to Light Slicer and a nice little Kobe from Zambo to finish things off. Yeah, absolutely. One of the interesting things about this game is grenades. Especially the fragmentation grenade, what you get at the beginning, they have a really good propensity to drop, like to bounce off of the ground and like hit you in the face, and that will make very good difference in a firefight. So yes, utilize them very well. It certainly does. Owlbro taking advantage of Gator Boy's sort of giving away his position with those nades. It is going to find the flank. It's going to put USF man down, but Zambo answering very, very quickly as no one has gone to pick up this ball yet, as it's just been a firefight over the center. Zambo caught in between two, but still with Vesta, that support able to do wonders as Gator Boy shut down by Owls, bro, and still no one able to find this oddball. The clock continues to tick down, but that active camo coming in. But still, I mean, revealed on the map, and now crossing the 80-point marker, USF looking to win the second round. Oh yeah, 100%. I would definitely say there is two different types of strategies within Oddball. You can either grab the ball and hope and pray, or you can play Essential Slayer before grabbing the ball. Usually playing Slayer does help at the end of the day, but it's just up to the strategies of the team, how you would make it effective. Yeah, and it looks like USF playing that Slayer, getting that space, securing themselves ball control will let them tie up this oddball series, and we'll have to see who takes the game after this final round. Oh yeah, absolutely. I did see some improvement from USF. I would say that NMCC is definitely putting up a good fight. I do believe their one issue was that at the end they weren't really focusing on the Slayer aspect. Maybe a little bit. Sometimes it is a little bit hard to get the focus on like, oh, I need to get power weapons. So it's just every single day you're working harder and harder and harder to improve yourself. Definitely. As Gator Boy finds Owl in this first fight, does certainly go the way of USF to tell. I
think taking that over to this, trying to make her way around to the C side does look like, I believe that is Zambo, who was holding off C, but now it's just 3-man unit from USF. Very, very tough to crack.
Yeah, yep, they are in the orange pipes right now, which is what I said earlier. This is like a very normal, if you play any sort of like Halo Infinite like map, you will normally see teams move these in there because it is very defensive. It is a double-edged sword though, because if you do lose, it's extra time that you have to take.
Definitely, as it is, tough spot to rotate to, and you're taking that extra time. You can't get staggered, and of course, you have a little bit of vulnerabilities to nades, but now it looks like instead, Ketel's just trying to take the fight, not able to find it, as the melees all go in the way of NMCC, but the ball control still in USF's hands. Owlbro runs on the wrong side of a battle rifle, and the oddball kill to finish things off from Wildcard.
Oh yeah, that I would say one small critique. When you are doing a melee, it is more efficient to not go for the melee immediately, get a few shots on the other person, knock their shield down. That's going to be a 100% kill. Also, melees aren't necessarily the greatest way because they are kind of skittish at times, but certainly using them good at this exact moment.
Yeah, as first melee down, take a couple shots, just nearly a double melee, but Ketel does find the headshot, and USF again securing their space, playing that Slayer as you mentioned. And Vesta will find Bean Man, and now Owls sort of lost without a team, and USF looking for this active camo control.
Yeah, I do see like some issues coming from NMCC where it does seem like at times they're not necessarily like clumping together, like, or they may not be playing Slayer as much. But it does look like they're starting to make some rotations right now, especially with their ball carrier.
Definitely, these rotations are very, very big, as Walder, I think, is looking potentially to make it all the way to that orange pipes position. Now holding this high ground. Indeed, they are over by orange pipes, and some good nade control, but let's see how long they can hold it. The pressure from USF is mounting, and Gator Boy going to be the first one to break it open.
Oh, yeah, but still, oh, that was a nice shot right there. Yeah. Whenever you have your shields popped, your shots are going to go exceptionally well, so... also, the utilization of the Commando is very interesting because it's not normally a gun that you normally see. People kind of point against it, so let's just see how effective it will be in the hands of Vesta.
Yeah, we'll see how effective it is, and it seems Zambo doing a great job so far. Now Gator Boy does find Slicer, but Wilder, the quick double kill, Ketel answers back as USF with more members on the map able to hold on to the ball.
Yep. Oh, they do look like they're going to be starting to move back towards that elevator A area, so maybe they decided that that's a little bit more of an efficient way for just their spawns. And it does look like there's two of them from NMCC that are there, just trying to contest it every single time that they can. Yep.
And they'll finish off that contest as we're seeing ball picked up. A couple nades getting thrown down by USF, but not the numbers to actually strike through. And I mean, this is so tough, as now you're just running the wrong side of an oddball or just a melee from the back, and now USF the one sort of trickling into NMCC's control. Though Zambo with a quick double kill, able to bring this one back. Now USF take the lead once more.
So it does look like USF is going for more of that 2-2 type of strategy instead of clumping up all together. That is traditionally for more of a Slayer type, but it certainly does look like it's having some value at this exact moment.
It certainly is, as you can always get those refrags. If you can get the first kill, then of course you might win the fight after. But Wilder and Beanman around the corner, and actually Lightlighters the entire NMCC team pushing down. But a couple are very, very low. We'll see if they can be finished off by Vesta. You can only find one, as this is a very, very tight third round. Yeah,
this is where the moment of making a single mistake, one miss melee, one miss shot, or even one mad grenade can make or break your game. It does look like USF does have the advantage at this moment, but I'm certainly wanting to see what NMCC is going to do.
Yeah, we'll see if they can respond. They're just throwing all the bodies they can. They're running into more and more USF bullets as the energy sword picked up for two. What a crucial moment, and that's the kind of mistakes you were talking about. If you run into an energy sword right when it matters, you're going to get shut down as USF take those last 8 points, take the game, and go up 2-0 in this series.
Yeah, absolutely. I would definitely say that, like, at that energy sword was the clutch moment. because either team would have been able to get it at the end of the day, but the energy sword is deadly. It's why a lot of people don't necessarily don't like the energy sword on this map, because it can go either one way or the other. So a good map to USF and good on that win.
Yeah, absolutely. As a great win, they put themselves up 2-0, looking again to bounce back in their season after taking those early 3 losses, and we'll see if they have more, if they can finish it out 3-0, or if NMCC, they certainly looked better in that game, and we'll see if they can respond. But we're going to take another short break, and we will be right back. Oh. And welcome back, as we just saw a very, very tight oddball match between these two teams. And I'm just excited to see more. It felt like we saw a new NMCC, but USF still able to take the win.
Yeah, NMCC had a lot more like momentum in that game, especially when they took one of the rounds. So maybe we can see some sort of like more close games than we did in the first match.
Yeah, potentially see more, as I believe we have moved on to control point.
This is going to be on
Stronghold, yeah.
Yeah, Stronghold on live fire. So this is going to be the one where they have the sniper rifle and the Mangler and your heat wave as your 3 major power weapons. So let's see how efficiently both teams are able to utilize them during this round.
Looks like Vesta's using it pretty efficiently to take this B site, and we'll get that capture. And USF currently on a tri-cap, picking up quite a few points. Looks like there's some pressure from Wilder on A, and 2 members here, and I don't think Vesta was ready for that. But still USF with control of 2 points.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see them like all coalesce around A. I mean, it's good because you're defending a point, but also when you're starting to slowly lose, you kind of need to go force USF to kind of like push away, force them into like disadvantageous battlegrounds. Don't just like stay in one position. That's what I'm seeing a lot of things on WMCC, is like they're very like hesitant to move like that, and that may be good for some of the rounds, but they definitely need to move out.
And that they most certainly do, as Zambo takes a melee. Beanman on the other side finds Kital, as NMCC striking back onto the map. They've got B, just captured C. They're starting to get some points back on the board. We'll see if Light Slicer can hold on, and Zambo finds the shots instead.
Yeah, definitely. Yep, you see right there what I was just saying earlier. They did move to C. So let's see. Yeah, Zambo went down, and that was like an attempt to move forward, but Zambo wasn't able to make it.
Yeah, it seemed like he was trying to pinch forward with the rest of the team, but they did manage to pick up the B site. Now the fight for C. Light Slicer holding on alongside Wilder. We'll see if Vesta can do any work. But Airman and Owls looking for this B site, and it does feel like NMCC, they're liking this B to C rotation. I mean, after losing A the way they did, and the heat wave in, will it be enough? And the final shot from Vesta cleans it up.
Absolutely. It's very interesting because whenever I play, we normally try to go for an AC type of game. Just because even though it's a little bit more hard to defend, you are supposed to be, you're able to go around. But however a team does it, as long as they're producing results like MNCC is doing right now, that's more than willing. But they're right there. You see the, look at that with that back smack with the camo. That is going to be deadly, especially when you can't see him and you're not focusing on all your surroundings, which is difficult in match sometimes.
It is very difficult. So much going on as Zambo coming in and out of the shadows. And now he's going to run on a Light Slicer. Doesn't find the backstab, but doesn't even matter. Just a double melee to take this B site. As, I mean, we mentioned how they might not have been using the active camo much in Slayer. Certainly using it to full effect here on Strongholds.
Yeah, it could have just been how it was positioned on the map on live fire in the first round. It is very interesting though, because like USF green, normally they'll play more on like they won't play as aggressive normally, so that's seeing them aggressive is really nice and really refreshing.
Yeah, seeing them really aggressive. Wilder goes down to Kital, not able to find Beanman, but still a valiant effort. And now Owlbro trying to hold on. Does go down, I believe, and that was a full team wipe of NMCC, so USF able to take at least the C site.
Yeah, let's see if they're gonna be. It does not look like USF is. Oh, USF is going for B. That's what I was predicting they weren't going to do. But the rotations on both teams are exceptionally good, especially after that first point where UNCC held A for a little bit too long. They're just rotating. They're causing each other problems. They're causing firefights.
Yeah, and finding those firefights, finding those advantageous moments is what this game's all about. As kill goes down, and again, USF, they've been holding strong to 2 sites. Wilder goes down to Vesta as it looks like they're striking forward onto this A site.
Yeah, absolutely. It does look like, it does look like a little bit more of the defensive side's taking over for UMCC, which is not inherently bad. It's just not a normal strategy that, that we're taught to play, at least at USF. Especially since, you're able to get flanked very easily at A. There's several points to come in, so it really just depends about how your efficiency is going to be able to play.
Yeah, and it looks like after A site goes down, the respawns came through and a full transition over to B and C. So good luck for NMCC. They're striking back. We wanted to see this get closer, and it certainly has been, as I feel like they're starting to figure out. There's a couple moments, but you can't figure out Vesta just running down too.
Yeah, and that was the point. In the last match, I said, like, melees are kind of, like, suspicious in this game sometimes. That certainly happened. I believe the person saw was like, I'm going to go for the melee. Had a few shots on Vesta, but then didn't get the lurch, and then all of a sudden it came through. So in this game, sometimes melees are going to be your double-edged sword.
Yeah, they certainly are. And I mean, you mentioned that lurch, how you need that at times. And if you're just outside the marker, you're going to suffer because of it. As Wilder gets shut down by Vesta, and now Bearman was taken out as well. Light Slicer off the map, or Bearman maybe in a bit of a disconnect. Not entirely sure what's going on. Hopefully nothing that would be impacting NMCC, because of course we don't want to be having matches happen where players are struggling with internet connectivity or hardware issues.
Yeah, that looked more like a controller issue, if I'm being perfectly honest. But going back a little bit to where Wilder was in A, that was a little bit of a tunnel vision issue. Every single player has it, but sometimes all right, so they did have to do a reset. So what they'll do, officially by the rules, they will have to play from 160 to from the amount about 90.
Okay, so they'll basically just like manually get it up to the scores there were, and then reapply it?
I believe the concurrent rules are going to be more of the lines of like, since it was like 160 to like 90, what they'll do is they'll act like it is. They can't really move it up to that point. So if USF was to get like 90 points, and I believe that's where they would end.
That's where the marker would be, where it's like if they have 90 left and then the other team had 110 left, then they'll go from there.
Yeah, and they'll act like they were going it from there, but it's technically a new match.
Okay.
That's just to ensure that someone doesn't like rage quit at 249, 248, and then essentially go, oh, I don't want to play anymore, and then have to restart it entirely. It wouldn't be fair to the other team. But also, it does look like it was just a controller issue, or a controller or mouse and keyboard issue. So hopefully, UNCC is able to get that quick fix on that issue and then be able to get back into the game. Yeah, it was a very good game. It
was a very, very good game. We're seeing NMCC start to find their way back in when they were when they stopped tunneling on A and they're really breaking out of B and C. I felt like the match just started. They started claw back.
Yeah, it looked like they were starting to slowly claw back. I feel like there was a few issues that were coming out. I feel like they were a little bit too defensive, but also like NMCC was really doing well in some of their firefights. Like they were like in the first match, USF Green was completely and utterly like taking them out, and now it looks like they made a change. So then maybe that was like that communication issue that was going on. They fixed it during the second half, and maybe they changed a different strategy that they had. So it's very good to see that, especially as a player myself. It's really good to see those changes in strategy, and just for the good of the game and being able to be like, hey, y'all, we may not win this match, but we're learning valuable skills from every single team that we play.
Yeah, and taking every learning opportunity you can, making those adjustments, figured out on the fly. That's what it's all about. Honestly, I just hope that the reset comes in quick, because I do hope that NMCC can really strike back, because, of course, go to USF. I'm wearing my USF jersey. I'm a USF fan, but I also love to watch good Halo.
Yeah, it's always great to say go Bulls as a USF fan, but it's also like it's also good sportsmanship to go like, it was a good game, and we want to make sure that every single person's having fun. It's not fun to get curb stomped. It's not fun to have continuous issues that continually like break your immersion in the game. So we can definitely see hopefully we'll get that fixed real quick, as I said earlier. And then we can hopefully have a fun and enjoyable third round, and maybe even we'll get a fourth round if UNCC gets those good moments where they're able to like take out USF Green.
Yeah, so we're actually going to I'm not sure if we're going to a break or if we're just cutting off. It looks like the match is over. So I believe USF is going to take that on a technicality. I think a forfeit from NMCC must have been some hardware or other issues that they ran into, which is unfortunate. But they were also already, 2 rounds up, so they were in a commanding position already. Maybe NMCC just decided, hey, maybe this match is over. But regardless, great showing from Green.
It was definitely a great showing. I do see a lot of values from USF Gold in there. Their aggressiveness, their precision in some of their firefights, some of their grenade work. I would definitely say, regardless of how it is, every single person who plays the game always has something to do. They always have things to improve on. Even our coach, says we have stuff. He has stuff to improve on. We all have stuff. But definitely an improved showing from the last few matches from USF Green. So we can definitely hope that next week when they play again, that we'll see some of this same energy coming in.
Yeah, definitely some wonderful energy. And it's unfortunate that the series had to end the way that it did with some hardware issues, but that's the way it goes sometimes, especially with us being, in a virtual setting. That's the nature of the competition at times. I want to say, Mason, thank you so much for coming on. It was an absolute pleasure. Of course, thank you to Rishi, who came in and covered our first round. It was an absolute pleasure getting cast alongside you. And with this being your first cast, you absolutely killed it.
All right. Thank you, John, so much for this opportunity.
Yeah, of course. And thank you to Shank, man behind the scenes, getting everything fixed up, fixing the nameplates, fixing the stuff in-game, doing all those little details that make the show pop. So huge thank you to him. And of course, thank you to everyone at home supporting the stream, supporting our players, letting us do what we love. But that is it from us here at USF Esports. So after a great win, I hope all of you have a wonderful night.